you doing? Oh, hang on. Hello. Happy Sunday morning. It's a cold, murky winter's morning here. The rain has stopped for a minute, which is great. So I thought I'd get out and do my rugged up reflections with you. Share my thoughts on this week. Well, this week has been about being me. You know, that you do you thing. So many of the speakers that I talk to, particularly when we start off, is I ask them, who's your role model? And why? And that's important. And there was one famous occasion we had a group start off, and the role models that came up were, get this, Joe Rogan, Mother Teresa, who else was it? Oh, JFK, not JFK, M.L.K, Martin Luther King. And who was the other one? Oh, golly. Somebody else. Anyway, there was BRENE Brown. That was it, BRENE Brown. And hello, Gail. BRENE Brown, and we were all going, well, that's a very eclectic mix. The question is why? And there were various attributes that everybody liked, but it all came down to authenticity. What was it that people really admired in these various different speakers? Was their authenticity. They all had some passion, and they all, you knew who they were and what they stood for, because they'd all got fire in their belly. They all knew what they were talking about. Now, they were very diverse, weren't they? But the point of knowing why they appeal to you is because those qualities are there in you. They are latent, maybe, or they're something that you want to work on, but you wouldn't even recognise those qualities if they weren't in you. And you think, yeah, no, that's not right. But actually, it's science. You've got mirror neurons in your brain, and they're the ones that pick up when somebody is like you. Now, that can be a good thing, and you can also find yourself being triggered by something, an attribute, a way that somebody behaves, and you go, that's not in me, that's not in me. Well, actually, it is. It might be something that you've got through, you've passed on the other side, as it were, and it's still triggering you because there's memory there, or it could be that there's something in you that is coming up to be worked on. So that's one thing I wanted to mention, that the fact that when we have a role model, we see something of ourselves in them. So that's to be celebrated. Now, they're all four of those ones that I mentioned. Was it Joe Rogan, Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, and anyway, I'll come back to that one in a minute. The point is, they've all, when we said BRENE Brown, that was it. When we've seen them on stage doing their thing, we all go, oh, they're amazing speakers, Well, the fact is, the 10,000 hour rule applies. You know, I'm sure you've heard that one, that it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill. Well, Joe Rogan used to be an actor, TV presenter. So, yeah, he's been on stage, he's been in front of people, he knows how to communicate. Martin Luther King was a pastor, preaching every Sunday for years before he ever did his famous speech. Mother Teresa, she'd been teaching nuns for donkeys. BRENE Brown was a lecturer. My point is, every single one of the role models that we have who are great at what they do have put in the hours. And when you're first starting off, you don't want to hear that. But that's when you go to be careful of the comparison, because you think, oh, they're so good, I could never be like that. And that's back to last week's never. Watch out for that word. My point is, it requires practice, it requires rehearsal, it requires getting yourself on stages. And by stages, that can be talking to your local Rotary, it can be talking to a local community group, it can be appearing on Facebook Lives, it can be going to meetups, it can be podcasts. Now, it can be on big stages too, when you're up to it. Now, the reason I'm saying about this 10,000 hours thing, and we kind of get, oh yeah, well that's a mastering a skill. It runs for just about anything that we do master. I've done a bit of maths. Okay, no, I looked it up. 10,000 hours equates to 13 and a half months. Solidly. Now, obviously, you're not going to dedicate every single minute of every single day to mastering your skill. But the classic example that's often used is of babies learning to walk. If we as adults had that same tenacity, and every time we fell over we got back up again, because otherwise babies would never walk and I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. The point is, if you allow time for brain development and sleep, and babies do quite a lot of sleeping, even though new mothers wouldn't see it that way, 13 and a half months, when do babies start to walk? It's not far off that, is it? So even within the natural realm, developing a new skill does take time. So get on as many practice stages as you can. And if podcasting is a good way of getting your message out to an audience, go for it. Networking meetings, opportunities like that. I mean, I'm running a networking group this coming Thursday, and we're talking about how to be a good podcast guest, because that's a great way of spreading your message. Now, if you're watching this and going, yeah, well, I'm not a speaker, I've got nothing to say, careful. I bet you have. If you've got a passion about something, then you have something to say. Be you. Be your unique self. And people will warm to you. Now, you've got the opportunity to be controversial if you wanted to do a Joe Rogan style. Poke the bear. Get a message out that stops people in their tracks and goes, ha, really? Never thought of it that way. Well, that can be really exciting. However, if you do that, be prepared that you're going to get rejected. And that goes back to the original fear of public speaking in the first place, because nobody wants to be rejected. The point is, if you've got something fresh to say, hello, where would the black civil rights movement be in America if Martin Luther King hadn't stood up? Let's make sure that if you've got a passionate message to share, you get out there. Get on as many stages as you can. If you want to know more about podcast guesting, how to be a great guest so that you are invited back or referred on, and even how to land those podcast opportunities, come and join us on Thursday morning. It's 7 a.m. Perth time. When I'm back home, I'll stick the deets in the comments, and you can come and join us. Meanwhile, keep practicing. Get in front of a camera, record yourself, upload it onto YouTube as a private or an unlisted, and then you've got a benchmark. You can track your progress. Because if you then may wish to publish them or not. Now, I've got some very interesting old videos up on my YouTube channel, which, could I be embarrassed about them? Well, possibly, but actually no. It shows progress. It shows how my 10,000 hours and more have been playing out. So, to recap then, you be you. Get your message out there. Be on as many stages as you can. Practice, practice, practice. Because the more you practice, the more you craft your message, the more you are known for being the person who speaks about X. If you've got fire in your belly, just grab every opportunity in both hands. Who cares if you get rejected? You're going to upset some people, because otherwise it's bland vanilla. And let's face it, yeah, nobody's really into vanilla, are they? Unless they put extra sprinkles on top. So what are your sprinkles? That's my rugged up reflections for this morning. And thank you that it stayed dry, because it was really raining hard this morning. So, Windy Corner, rugged up reflections for this week. See you on Thursday. Bye.